So we're going to turn our focus back to cricket on the SportsMax Zone. The West Indies four-day championship concluded with the Guyana Harpy Eagles capturing their third consecutive title. But we continue to put the spotlight on standout performers. Veteran Trinidad and Tobago batsman Jason Mohammed topped the runs chart, compiling 679 runs at an average of 75.44 as the Red Force ended third in the championship behind the Harpy Eagles and runners-up Barbados Pride. 38-year-old Mohammed smashed 4 centuries with his highest score of 204 not out coming against the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. Mohammed has retired from international cricket, but could he be open to a possible return to the maroon colours if called? We're happy to have Jason Mohammed join us via Zoom. Jason, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Congratulations, first of all, on the fabulous season that you had with the bat. But can I ask you first, how disappointed are you that the Red Force did not win the title?
Hi, good night. Thanks for having me. Yes, it was disappointed for us not to win this title after so many years. I think just one bad game we had against Jamaica that actually cost us this title. So it was very disappointing for us as a team.
Yeah, can you talk to us about your appetite for runs this year? Because you outstripped every other batsman in the tournament. Can you talk to us about your preparation, first of all, for the season and how well things went for you with the bat?
For me, I think my fitness and the amount of work I put into my batting before this tournament played obviously a crucial part in me scoring a lot of runs this year. No, I'm retired from international cricket because I have opportunity to go to India in a Legends League. So that was in this reason, and I wasn't being selected at the point in time for West Indies. But it's always been, obviously, my dream to play Test cricket because I've never had the opportunity to do so. So I know, yes, I'm 38, but I think if I had an outstanding season, who knows if I will be called to the West Indies Test team. So I know this was definitely going to be my last chance in order to try and achieve this. So who knows? Hopefully I've done enough, and the people who are involved in selecting the team also think the same and don't just put age as the only bracket of not being selected. But yeah, I just have to wait and see what is happening and what the guys are saying.
Yeah, there have been a couple of instances in the past, Jason, where players were considered to be, past their time for international cricket, but because of dominant regional seasons have been recalled to West Indies duties. I remember Devon Smith, the Grenadian playing for the Windwards, having some outstanding seasons with the bat and getting another opportunity later in his career. So based on what you have produced on the field this season in the tournament, any player, regardless of his age, would think that they have a shot at making the West Indies team.
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously the main purpose is performance, and I think once you're performing and you're fit enough to stay on the park, I think that should be the main asset in terms of being selected for West Indies. So, as I said, I don't want to think about it too much, and obviously I have to have a conversation with somebody at that level of what they're thinking and if they are consider selecting me or not. So, as I said, I just have to keep my mind open, and if I happen to get that call, I'll be very excited and happy about it.
Can I ask you this, though, Jason, because you've played 36 one-day internationals and 9 T20s for the West Indies, which means that you do have white ball experience playing international cricket. Can you comment on the fact that you've been picked for the West Indies before, but for white ball and not red ball?
To be honest, I think in the past, I think I've done pretty okay to be selected on the red ball team. But for some reason, I was never selected. I don't know why. I scored obviously a lot of century in the past as well, just not only this year. Now I'm up to 17. I've seen guys play Test cricket a lower average than me, and maybe a century or 2 century, or most of them will have 2 or 3. And at that time I was 10, 12 and still not being selected. But I don't know was the reason why I was never selected for red ball. I think, in my honest opinion, I should have been given an opportunity sometime in the past, but that's just how it goes sometimes. And look, I was just happy for the opportunity to play for West Indies. That was obviously my dream and goal. And, I had the white ball format. So, look, at the end of the day, I was happy with that. And as I said, I still have my mind open to red ball. So I just have to wait and see what will happen.
Hey, Jason, you scored 634 runs in the 2018-2019 season, and of course 679 this year. How are you different? How are you better as a batsman now than you were 6 years ago? And do you think that improvement, that level of difference, will probably make a difference in you possibly getting called up for the West Indies?
A little bit, but I heard a little bit of it. To be honest, I think, as everyone said, with age, we understand ourselves better and mature a little bit better. For me, in the past, I think getting to 100, then I would relax and sort of get out, right after 100. But I said to myself, if I happen to get 100 this year, I want to go big hundreds. In the first game, I got to 179. I could not have converted to a double 100, but I also got a double 100 later on. So I think my thinking was a lot more different this time around. Rather than just get into 100, relax, and then straight away, I just wanted to score big hundreds, and I converted 2 of those into big hundreds.
One of the constant conversations in West Indies cricket has been the condition or state of the pitches regionally. Do you think, and speaking more broadly, do you think that hurts batsmen like yourself from making the kind of development or getting the kind of development that is required to play Test cricket at the highest level more consistently? Because when you're playing abroad especially, the pitches are different. The pitches are reported of a higher quality. Do you think that hurts batsmen like yourself from not making that transition to the Test level because of the condition of the pitches here in the Caribbean?
I'm sorry, guys. There's some noise in the background. I'm not hearing anything at the moment. I'm not hearing anything what is coming across.
Okay.
Try again.
Let me ask you again. So what I wanted to ask is that because of your success this year on, with the pitches that you're playing on in the Caribbean, do you think that not being able to be exposed to surfaces like you get in Australia or England hurt a player like yourself who would want to make that transition to the Test level because of the inferior quality of the pitches in the Caribbean?
Yes, it does. Obviously, it's a huge difference. I've never been to Australia, but going to some other international venues, it's obviously a lot different. Like when you go to places like New Zealand and stuff, where there's a lot of grass and the wicket is very hard and bouncy, it's obviously something that we are not accustomed to. So getting adjusted to it on tour, it's very difficult. So for me, or for West Indies cricket on the whole, I think if we can have some of those pitches involved in our first class season, obviously it would make it much more easier for batsmen to transition when they get to international cricket.
I realized when looking at your stats today, I realized you had hundreds and then you had some, there were no 50s. Was that strange for you? 400s, a 30-odd, I think it was, and then you had some lower scores. There was no balance, for example. It's either eggs or young ones for you this season. Why do you think that was?
I think, as I said before, I just wanted to score big runs this year and hopefully have that chance of playing Test cricket. I'm someone who normally convert pretty well at first class level. I think I have 1700s and just 2050s. So
yeah,
my conversion rate is pretty good at the first class level. So as I said, the thinking was just so much different this year, knowing that this is your very last shot if it was to happen. So I just wanted to make use of those stats because most of the time you don't have it. As you said, I had some pretty low scores. So once I got into that good rhythm and had a good start, I just wanted to push on and have that big score.
Yeah, I'm going to test your memory a little bit now, Jason, because we're fast running out of time. But I just want to ask you this, because it's almost 20 years now that you you got a taste of international cricket, representing West Indies in the 2006 Under-19 World Cup when Kieron Pollard and Sunil Narayan and Leon Johnson were among your teammates. Can you cast your mind back to that experience, what that meant for you, and if at that time you would have envisioned a more successful international career than you have ended up having?
Yeah, I think going to Under-19 World Cup obviously was a great experience. First time going to a World Cup and representing West Indies at World Cup level. I had a pretty good World Cup. I think I had the most runs for West Indies at the World Cup. And obviously my eyes opened a little bit more in terms of getting into the international team. And I think at 25 I did that. Yeah, I think I would have loved to have a more successful international career, to be honest. I think I had a pretty good run at the white ball level, but I had a few good moments, but unfortunately I could not have been as consistent as I needed to be at international cricket to even hold my spot on West Indies team. So I would have obviously loved to play a lot more international games, but it didn't work out that way. And sometimes, you know, that's just the way how things go. And you just have to be grateful that you had that opportunity to play for West Indies, because there's so much people wanting this chance to represent West Indies, but never got that opportunity. So, yes, I would have loved to do a lot better. I know my stats is not the greatest, but as I said, at the end of the day, that's just how the game go.
Yeah. All right, Jason. Well, apart from the audio issues that we had a few times, we have enjoyed this chat with you. We hope you enjoy the rest of the year. Now that the first class season has ended, I know you probably have some domestic cricket to play as well. And let's hear what the selectors say and see if you will get into the West Indies team, which is something that you would dearly love. But you've had a tremendous season. Congratulations on your outstanding batting this season, Jason, and all the best in the future.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Jason Mohammed, TNT Red Force batsman and leading scorer in the first class West Indies Championship that ended last weekend. We go to break. When we come back, it's time for our interactive segment to close the show.